Okay, so what we have here is three ways of reading Alice in Wonderland. We have the traditional book, the Kindle 2, and the iPhone. And there are advantages and disadvantages to all three mediums, if you will. I think from a purely visual perspective, the traditional book still has the best visual experience going for it. So in terms of purely visual reading, this is still aces. A close second from a visual perspective is the Kindle 2. You can see that it's pretty good, and actually one of the advantages that the Kindle has over a traditional book is that you can change the size of the text dynamically as you go. So that's kind of a nice feature and makes it a little easier to read. I also think that the Kindle 2 is easier to hold with a single hand than a traditional book where you have to sort of be, balancing the two sides of the book with your thumb. It's a little bit awkward. The Kindle 2 makes it really easy to hold the book, as it were, with one hand and navigate using the previous and next page, which is very conveniently located for your thumb if you're holding it like this. So that's a nice feature of the Kindle. Although again, the e-ink technology on the screen doesn't quite get you to that visual clarity that ink on paper does. That's still the best as far as I'm concerned. The third thing I wanted to talk about was the iPhone, because the iPhone has a little app. I think it's $3. It's called Classics. And it's got this beautiful little interface of a bookshelf when you open it immediately, and you can scroll up and down the bookshelf. And the first book on the shelf is Alice in Wonderland. So if you tap it, it opens the book. And they were very clever in their design of this app, because instead of having a white background, it's sort of an off-white or a beige background even. So it doesn't create as much eye strain. This is the user interface. You use the multi-touch screen of the iPhone to swipe, and if you swipe across, you see that it changes the page. If you swipe back, it takes you to the previous page, and there's this beautiful sound and animation that duplicates the feel of turning a page, which is actually quite lovely, and a much more advanced user interface than the sort of simple next page, previous page of the Kindle. So that's these three different ways of reading the same book, and I think they all have advantages and disadvantages, and the Kindle 2 is definitely a good reading device. From a pure reading perspective, you can fit 1,500 books on this device, and it's comfortable to read on. There's no doubt about that.